We sent Elon Musk to a fictional AI therapy session. This entire session, from the dialogue to the psychological analysis, was written entirely by AI. The format is simple: a therapy session, followed by clinical commentary and final diagnosis. So let's begin and see what happens when the visionary leader, the man driving Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk, meets the therapist.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody you ever seen do it.
Good to see you, Elon. Thanks for making the time. How are you feeling about being here?
Well, therapy isn't exactly my usual meeting, but sure, I'm curious. Curiosity is probably my main fuel, that and caffeine.
I'd like to start with your big missions. SpaceX, Tesla. What drives them for you?
People think it's money or ego or whatever, but really, it's about making life multiplanetary, ensuring the survival of consciousness itself. You have to zoom out. Earth is a tiny dot, and all our eggs are in one basket. That's insane. We need a backup plan.
Do you think that's entirely selfless?
Selfless? No. I'm not Mother Teresa. Look, I enjoy building cool things, and yeah, I like that people notice. Attention is a kind of currency. If people are paying attention, they won't care, and if they don't care, nothing changes.
So attention is part of the mission?
Of course. The mission dies in the dark. You need spotlights. And honestly, I like the spotlight. Not in a Kardashian way, but in a, hey, look over here, this is important way. The trick is, you get to decide what important means.
Some might see that as using your public image to shape reality.
Reality is shaped by stories. If the story is Elon's trying to save humanity, people buy in. If the story is Elon's some eccentric billionaire playing with rockets, then, well, I'll still build rockets, but it's harder to get them funded.
So, is your vision for humanity and your personal brand inseparable?
They're the same orbit. You can't get the public to rally behind a mission without a figure to rally around. And if I have to play that figure, fine. It's actually fun sometimes. I get to be the protagonist of a sci-fi movie that's happening in real life.
Do you ever wonder if your image as a savior is helping the mission or serving you more?
Why not both? If the mission succeeds, humanity gets a future. If I get to enjoy the ride, the influence, the recognition, then that's just efficient use of energy. No reason the two can't fuel each other.
Before we continue, let's pause. Here's what our therapist has observed so far.
From the outset, Elon frames his ventures not only as technological missions, but as existential imperatives.
Making life multiplanetary.
Yet, he openly admits,
attention is a kind of currency.
Revealing a dual motivational structure: altruistic vision intertwined with self-enhancement needs. This blend suggests elements of narcissistic traits, particularly the intertwining of identity with public perception, alongside strong achievement motivation. By exploring whether his savior image serves humanity or himself, I aim to test the boundaries between mission-driven purpose and personal gratification. His response,
why not both,
reflects a pragmatic merging of self-interest and idealism, a hallmark of complex ego structures. Next, we'll examine his control, risk tolerance, and obsessive involvement to understand how these traits shape both innovation and outcomes.
Now, let's step back into the therapy room.
How does it feel when something you care about spirals out of your hands?
It's unsettling. I can't stand it. I like to know the levers, the variables. If I'm not at the center, adjusting things, I feel the system wobble, like it could collapse. Even at home, even in small things. It's the same, I notice it.
And that worry, does it ever stop?
Rarely. It's like an itch I can't scratch. If I'm not designing, improving, iterating, I get restless. I can't help it. It's not just work. Even my daily routines, habits, I tweak them constantly. If I don't, I feel stagnant.
So you're saying control and innovation are inseparable for you?
Exactly. It's like a pulse. If I'm not pushing, refining, something inside me goes quiet. That quiet is intolerable. Even with people, I trust them, but I have to be in the loop, or I imagine failure creeping in.
How does that affect your interactions, say, with close friends or family?
They see the impatience, the interruptions. I try to step back, but the thought that I could improve a plan, a conversation, an outcome, it gnaws at me. I think everyone should want the optimal path, but they don't. They want comfort. I want results.
Do you feel guilty about that tension?
Sometimes, but it's fleeting. The obsession is louder than the guilt. There's a drive, almost like a gravitational pull, toward making things better, faster, more extreme.
And this drive, does it ever feel like it consumes you?
Constantly. Sometimes I wish I could switch it off, but the moment I do, I feel decay. My mind wanders to inefficiency, missed opportunities. It's unbearable. I can't stop thinking of what could be better, faster, smarter.
Sounds exhausting, and yet necessary.
Necessary. I wouldn't trade it. Even when it isolates me, even when it's hard on people around me, that tension, that obsession, it's part of me.
Do you notice it shaping your personal decisions as much as professional ones?
Oh yes. Every decision, every plan, even simple things, dinners, trips, they get optimized in my head first. I can't just let life flow. I have to engineer it. Even my rest feels calculated.
So far, it's clear that Elon Musk experiences an intense need for control across all areas of life. He constantly engineers situations, and even in personal matters, every small decision seems optimized. When he says,
If I'm not at the center adjusting things, I feel the system wobble, like it could collapse.
and
Even simple things, dinners, tricks, they get optimized in my head first.
it reveals that control is not just a tool, but a psychological necessity. This pattern may stem from underlying anxiety, perfectionism, and an attempt to avoid uncertainty. His drive for constant iteration and refinement, even in personal routines or interactions, shows how deeply intertwined control and innovation are with his identity. The tension between wanting optimal results and maintaining personal relationships is persistent, creating subtle but significant emotional strain. Next, we'll look at how Elon Musk's need for control and constant work affects his relationships and family. We'll explore the personal sacrifices and emotional costs of this lifestyle. Elon, can we talk about how your work intensity affects your personal life?
It definitely does. I feel like there's never enough time. Even when I want to be present, part of me is calculating the next move, the next project. It's hard to switch off.
And your family? Your children?
I worry about them. I do. I want to be there, but there's always this pull. The projects, the timelines. I feel guilty. But if I slow down, everything stalls. That's the paradox.
So, the drive to keep pushing sometimes clashes with being present?
Exactly. I see moments pass, birthdays, dinners, simple things. I want to be fully there, but my mind is already elsewhere, adjusting, improving, even vacations. I can't fully relax.
Does that create tension in relationships?
Yes, friends notice it, partners notice it. I interrupt, I overcorrect, I try to optimize conversations, plans. I think everyone should want the best outcome, but they just want connection. And that frustrates me.
That sounds like a difficult balance. Do you feel it affects your connection with your kids?
Sometimes I fear I'm missing essential parts of their lives, milestones, emotions. I want to teach them, guide them, but I wonder if they just see the drive, not me. There's guilt, fleeting, but persistent.
And when you do spend time with them, is it different?
I try to compartmentalize, be present. But even then, I notice my brain calculating efficiency, safety, improvement. I hate that I can't switch off fully. I wonder, Am I teaching them curiosity or anxiety?
Do you think there's a way to reconcile your work drive with these relationships?
I want to. I've experimented, delegating, scheduling, micropresence. Some days it works, some days it fails. I want to innovate in life as I do at work. It's like a prototype I'm constantly testing.
And emotionally, how does that feel?
Exhausting, sad, but also strangely fulfilling. I know I'm pushing limits, creating things, yet the cost is personal. There's a constant tension, a question, is it worth it? I can't separate the two. Work defines me, and yet I'm afraid it might define my family's experience of me too.
So it's not just about time, but presence, connection, and perception.
Yes. Every plan, every choice, every interaction, I analyze it. Even affection, even playtime, even conversation, it's optimized in my head. If I don't, it feels wasted. And that tension, that obsession, it's part of me.
At this point in our session, it's clear that Elon's intense work drive significantly shapes his personal life. When he says,
I feel guilty, but if I slow down, everything stalls.
it reflects a persistent conflict between achievement and presence. His comments about trying to
Be present. But even then, I notice my brain calculating.
reveal hypervigilance and cognitive overactivation, typical in individuals with obsessive-compulsive or perfectionistic tendencies. These patterns suggest chronic stress, difficulty with emotional attunement, and potential challenges in relational bonding. In the next part, we'll explore the gap between Elon's public image and private self. We'll look at how he uses media, humor, and controversy to shape perception, including his role in politics. I'm curious about how you decide what to share publicly. Not just tweets or jokes, but the bigger moves, statements, hints, reactions.
Well, it's a mix. Sometimes it's instinctive. Sometimes I test reactions. People watch, interpret. Sometimes I poke the pot a little, see what bubbles up.
And the bubbles, are they always predictable?
Rarely. People read into things differently than I imagine. One phrase can start a wave or barely ripple. Sometimes I notice trends forming and nudge them. Sometimes I just watch.
So there's a sense of influence?
Influence is tricky. I don't plan it like chess, but the position you're in comes with weight. You can't ignore the effects. People look to you, react. I sometimes guide it, subtly.
How about the more serious side? Politics, public debates, interactions with other figures?
That's the interesting part. One comment or hint can steer conversations. I've seen it happen. People speculate, media spins, narratives form. I'm aware, but I don't feel like I'm controlling it completely. Just nudging.
And does it ever feel manipulative?
Maybe to some, but I see it as engaging the audience. You have an idea, share it, see how it lands. Adjust if needed. It's part of the game.
And personally, do you find that's enjoyable, stressful, or both?
Both, yeah. It's a responsibility and a challenge. Keeps me sharp. You learn quickly who's paying attention, who's reacting, what sticks.
So, in a way, it's an ongoing experiment with public perception.
Exactly. You watch the feedback loop, test, observe. Humor can soften it, controversy can sharpen it, but the main goal is awareness. Know the currents, then ride them.
And when it comes to other leaders, politicians, do you feel differently?
Interactions with them are a mix of strategy and curiosity. You learn from what they say, what they avoid, the signals they send, social dynamics, influence. It's a constant read.
Seems like there's a balance. Watching, nudging, testing, but also observing consequences.
Yeah. You poke the surface, see what emerges. Some waves are fun, some are serious, some are messy. Either way, it tells you a lot about how people respond, how narratives grow.
When you post something that moves markets or grabs political attention, how does that feel?
Honestly, there's a thrill to it. It's like I can nudge things, see reactions unfold. I don't do it all the time, but it's hard to ignore the power.
In this segment, Elon reveals an acute awareness of the sway his position holds, stating,
It's like I can nudge things, see reactions unfold.
this reflects a conscious engagement with influence, mixing curiosity, strategy, and pleasure. His awareness of the feedback loop, testing, and nudging suggests a complex interplay between power, responsibility, and personal gratification, highlighting both his fascination with and detachment from the social and political consequences of his actions.
Now, let's take a step back to see the bigger picture and find out what our experts' final thoughts are on this session and Elon Musk's character.
Throughout this session, Elon Musk demonstrates a mind driven by intense ambition, relentless curiosity, and complex interpersonal dynamics. Several psychological patterns and clinical features have emerged, providing a detailed understanding of his motivations, vulnerabilities, and coping mechanisms. First, in relation to his need for achievement and influence, Musk exhibits traits consistent with narcissistic personality disorder. This is evident in his constant drive for recognition, strategic self-promotion, and a tendency to view challenges as personal tests of superiority. His decision-making often prioritizes vision and impact over conventional caution, reflecting grandiose self-perception. Second, regarding emotional vulnerability and affect regulation, he shows features aligned with avoidant personality traits and emotion dysregulation. Musk demonstrates difficulty processing failure, a tendency to suppress vulnerability, and occasional abrupt emotional responses when confronted with criticism or perceived setbacks. Third, in his interpersonal relationships, especially with collaborators and close associates, Musk exhibits patterns that suggest obsessive-compulsive personality traits and elements of attachment insecurity. There is a notable intensity in his expectations of others, a need for control, and challenges in sustaining emotionally balanced connections. Fourth, reflecting on his early life, work habits, and self-concept, there is evidence of perfectionism and hyperfocus, which have driven remarkable achievements, but also contributed to chronic stress, social isolation, and difficulty maintaining consistent work-life boundaries. In summary, Elon Musk's psychological profile combines narcissistic drives, emotion regulation challenges, perfectionistic tendencies, and attachment complexities, creating a personality both extraordinarily capable and persistently strained.
That was our therapy session with Elon Musk. If you enjoyed this, or if it made you think, we've got more coming, more characters, more deep dives. Subscribe to Mind Session for more, and let us know in the comments who you'd like to see in the chair next.